Hey everybody, welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for our weekly recap of Put a Ring on It. This is season 1, episode 10, and it was the reunion. Alright, before I jump into the reunion, if you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me along with the notification bell. And if you end up liking this review recap, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. Alright, let's just jump right into it. It really wasn't a lot going on in this reunion, except for when it came to Ashley and Hollywood, so I'll kind of spend a little bit more time on them. But for the other couples, it really wasn't a lot going on. Egypt Sharad, she hosted the reunion. I think she did a really good job getting down to the nitty gritty, especially when it came to Ashley and Hollywood. She was not pulling any punches or anything like that. So I really liked her hosting. She typically does host a lot of the reunions as far as on OWN, I believe, because I think she did another show as well. So and I know she's hosted something else too on a different network, but she's pretty good at getting down to the nitty gritty and asking the questions that we want to hear. So I really appreciated her. Everybody was there, all the couples, even Mimi and Ulysses, because remember they left the second episode because her father was dying. Unfortunately, he did pass away a week after we last saw them. So rest in heaven for them and prayers out to their family. They said that his death kind of brought them closer together. So they are bonded better now. And in the end, she did state that she had to work on herself individually before she would be ready to be in a marriage, be in a relationship and stuff like that. But they are, I think they were already like friends and stuff like that. And they are still a couple, but she's just kind of working on herself individually and stuff like that. He did say that he had a ring, but he wanted to wait until she was ready because, like, you know, her father just passed away. So he wants to make sure that she's in a mental state, like she's in a healthy state, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of that good stuff before he asked her to marry him. And I thought that was really good. So I just pretty much summed up them because they didn't really have anything, you know, else because they weren't on the show like the rest of the couples. What else? So the Egypt kind of asked them, did they kind of wonder about if the experiment was going to ruin their relationships, or because she was like, this is real interesting, like y'all are still together. Did y'all really feel like this, you know, thing was going to ruin y'all relationships? And they were saying like, yeah, and their friends and stuff was like, y'all are not going to make it because y'all bringing outsiders in and stuff like that. But they were saying like it really brought them closer. It really helped them see like you know, the grass may be greener on the other side or whatever, but I'm happy and content with the person that I have right now. So I'm going to continue to grow the flowers in this garden right here, pretty much. What else, child? I think that was pretty much it as far as them as a group. And then Egypt, well, Dr. Nicole was there and she was saying like the motivation behind the experiment was to see, like, to test the theory, is the grass always greener on the other side? So that's what the motivation behind it was. And yeah, so I think that was all. I'm sorry, y'all. I was trying to read my notes just to make sure I got everything. So everything, that was all that they were kind of together. Because like I said, it really wasn't a lot. They were all together. And then they went individually as far as like couples. So Mike and Shay went first. And then it was just Egypt, Mike and Shay. And then they had like the people they dated. Well, in their case, it was the two guys. Well, the people they dated repeatedly or whatever like that. So Mike and Shay, he said that he formed a good relationship with Shay. Like Zion is going to be moving in with them. They've been their relationship has been growing. It's been getting better and stuff like that. What else happened on Facebook? I had already saw this. I think they were about to go into episode 9, or they just finished 8 or whatever, airing 8. So I had already saw this, so I already knew they were going to stay together. He was going to propose and stuff like this, because on Facebook, I'm in a reality TV group or whatever, and in that group they had showed a picture of Shay and Michael. They had brought a house. She had the big rock on her finger, or I should say this finger, the big rock on her finger, and she was cheesing, smiling. They had, this nice house and stuff like that. They just purchased it and stuff because their realtor had posted it on his website, so he kind of ruined the big finale or whatever, because I think it was like episode 8 where I knew. So I was just like, all right, well, I already know they're gonna stay together. So that's why I kind of like laxed a little bit. But I already knew they was buying a house. I already knew they was, about to get married and stuff like that. So all of these things was already out there. But the fact that she's happy and ready to live the life with Zion in the family and stuff like that, finally, child, because that's like his son. So I was just like, I was glad she was on board finally. Okay. But she's happy, he's happy, they're happy. So then they bring out the first guy. I don't remember his name. I didn't really like him. Rick and Whitney, of course. So the guy and Rick, they were kind of saying like they enjoyed their time with Shay. The first guy was saying like he felt some attraction to her. She was saying like, yeah, I had to cut the relationship because there was a lot of sexual tension going on and I wasn't, I didn't want to cross that boundary. And then she was saying how she had, like vibe and some chemistry with Rick, and especially when he picked her up and stuff, it was a lot of sexual chemistry there. And then we saw Mike, he looked a little uncomfortable. And so, Egypt asked her, did she, talk to him afterwards? And he was like, no, we haven't talked. So I see they're getting engaged. So congratulations or whatever. Whitney is there and I love her. She is so beautiful. Like, I love her dimples. I love her face. I love her vibe. Like, she is beautiful. She was saying like she respected their boundaries. He was saying like he respected her. He had a good time with her, but he wouldn't allow himself to go any further with her because he knew he had a girl at home and that he loved her and stuff like that and wanted to be with her. And so then Egypt asked, well, have you talked to him after, the show or whatever? And she was like, yeah, I talked to him. So everybody looking like, what? And she was like, no, like all of us we went out because he thought that she would have like, she would really like me and stuff. So, or we could be friends or whatever. So he orchestrated like a meetup with us or whatever. And as soon as she said that, the first thing that popped in my head was they finna have a threesome. Like, that's the first thing that popped into my head when she said he orchestrated a meeting or a lunch or dinner or something like that because he thought that she would be good friends with Shay because of the same. I was just like, he's trying to set up a threesome. They finna have a threesome or something. That is the first thought that came in my head. Because I'm like, why would you want to set up your wife with a girl that you are very much attracted to? She was attracted to you. Y'all had a good chemistry, a good vibe where you was about to cross some boundaries. She wanted to cross some boundaries. So why would you then want them two to be friends? I said, no, this is a threesome. They threesoming. So, that's what Egypt, she was like, and so Shay was like, well, I mean, he was adamant about it. So, yeah, he's trying to set up a threesome. And so then Egypt was like, well, I remember a conversation where you were saying like y'all had some threesomes and stuff. Was this like an ulterior motive for you to set this up? And he like, I mean, no, but it's not like we do all the time. Like, we did it before, but no. But I mean, if she open to, just be honest and open to it. And so then Shay like, well, if Whitney's open to it, I mean, or whatever. And so then Whitney all like, well, I can never say never. I was just like, girl, y'all probably already setting up the date backstage because she was like, we go and have dinner or whatever. So they gonna talk about it at dinner. Shit, they probably doing it right now. Rick was applauding. He was just like, God damn. So I was just like, hey, if it makes them happy, that's not my business or anything like that. I'm not against threesomes or, all that other stuff. Like, the more the merrier. If that's what y'all want to do. Like, give me the popcorn. I'll watch, you want me to put, I'm not going to tell y'all my business too much, but I mean, hey, what's wrong with it? Okay. Anyway, that's their relationship. That's what they want to do. Whitney's a beautiful girl. She has a nice shape. She has a nice body and stuff like that. So look, if Shay fine with it, Mike fine with it, boom, be fine with it. Then we see Tamika and Vince. She says that she's a different girl. She trusts him more. She just wanted to feel safe. She wanted to feel safe enough to have the conversation with him about how she was feeling about what he did to her in the past. And with Dr. Nicole's help, she was able to do that. And you can see how she looked like she had more confidence. She looked like she was like loving herself more because she just had like a different vibe to her. It wasn't like crying. She wasn't argumentative. She wasn't anything. She knew what she was. Like she knew she was that girl. Like she was like, look, I know what I am, and if he got a problem with it, oh well. Like she said, going on these dates got her to get her mojo back. She was able to talk more freely with Devin and have like real deep not deep conversations, but real deep conversations with somebody else that wasn't her partner, and that made her feel like, look, I am like, what is going on? I got my mojo back. Like I am that girl. Like what are you talking? Like what? You better ask somebody. Like she just, you could see it was like a different vibe to her or whatever. So Devin and Christina came out there, and Devin was happy to see that they got engaged and stuff like that. He congratulated her. She thanked him for helping her, find herself again and get out her shell and stuff like that. And Egypt asked, like, if Vince wasn't, in the picture, would you have went with Devin? And she said, yeah, because he was a good catch and stuff like that. I think he's cute. It was a dope experience. It was, like, nice. Christina was just trying to figure out why he ghosted her because she hadn't heard anything. And now she saw that they got engaged and stuff. So now she understands what happened or whatever. So everybody was happy for them and so forth. What is their way? And I think Tamika and Vince, they set a date for next year, but it was supposed to be like in September. I don't know if September of this year. When did they film this show? So I don't know if it's September of I said this year. Jesus, it's no longer 2020. September. I don't know if it was September of 2020 or September of 2021. But she wants to push the date up at any rate. Shay and Michael, they want to get married on September 25th. Again, I don't know which year, if it was 2020 or if it's going to be 2021. Because they did not mention the year. They just said the date of the wedding or whatever. So then we see Ashley in Hollywood. So this right here, okay? So they're talking or whatever, and this is before the people come out or whatever. And he was saying, like, this show brought a lot out of me. And she was like, yeah, jealousy or whatever. And he was saying, like, he didn't want to do the experience. Like, he didn't want to, what you call it, click with anybody because he felt like he was cheating. He said every time he went out on a date, he would tell the people, look, I feel like I'm cheating. I'm not going to catch no feelings for you or whatever like that. He was mad that she made a connection with someone. He said it hurt him or whatever. And he was basically like, look, I should have talked to her and told her, like, look, I'm not going to be making no connections or getting feelings for nobody, so you don't need to be getting feelings for nobody like that. And so Egypt was like, so you was trying to control her? And he was like, well, I wasn't trying to control her, but I didn't want her to catch no feelings. Hello? You trying to control her or whatever. But he was saying, like, somebody, like, people in his past told him, like, I guess the girls he used to dog out or whatever, told him, like, you was going to find a girl that was going to break your heart or whatever like that. And he said that he found it with Ashley because she breaking his heart, because she said she still thinks about Kwame. And she has told Hollywood that she still thinks about him because it was a genuine connection. She wants to be able to communicate with him, with Hollywood, safely, in a safe space or whatever, without him getting all, like, puffed up and stuff like that. What else, child? She is engaged. Oh, so Egypt said something about being engaged, and she was like, or whatever. She was like, what happened? Did something happen? Like, y'all not engaged no more? And she was like, yeah, we, like, still engaged, but the wedding is not being discussed. So she was like, oh, okay, so it's, like, on pause or whatever. And she was like, well, and he was like, well, it's on her. Like, I gave her the ring. I gave her the option. That's on her when she want to, walk down the aisle and stuff like that. I'm not going to give her no pressure and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. So she's saying, like, the instability is the problem. He is not stable. He go from hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold. And she needs emotional stability in a relationship for her to be able to marry him. So right now she says she's not ready to get married or whatever. So he getting all upset. He getting all his feelings and stuff like that. Then we see Kwame and Shantae. I think it was Shantae. She come out there. And Kwame, he looks so sad, child. Like, I think he really was, like, in love with Ashley, okay? Because he looked sad. He looked like he in disbelief. Like, you really took a ring from him? Like, he was really sad, okay? Like, really sad. You could see it all on his face. He was not happy, okay? They do the little clips and stuff. And in the clip, remember Kwame had put that pineapple in her mouth and, like, kissed her with the, yeah. So Hollywood see that. That's the first time he's seeing that. She, like, it was just like a pineapple exchange and stuff. So he was like, no, that was, so Egypt was like, no, that was the kiss. So Ashley turned to Kwame like, wasn't that a pineapple exchange? He was like, no, you don't want to hear what I got to say. And so she was like, all right, it was just a pineapple exchange and stuff. So, what's the name? Egypt asked, like, no, we want to hear what you gotta say, and stuff like that. So he was saying, like, he was really digging her. He really, had really liked her. He was really attracted to her. He was catching feelings and stuff like that. He says, like, look, I see, it's on your finger and stuff, so now I understand. Like, congratulations. He tells Hollywood, like, you a lucky guy. He was just like, she is a real good catch, you a lucky woman, like all this other stuff, right? And so she was like, well, are you upset or whatever? And he was like, I just feel some type of way about it. So he confused, because he like, I'm confused about what's going on, because like, I gave her my number and I told her, like, hit me up if if I'm next up or something will happen with them two or whatever. And she didn't, so now I see why, because she engaged, but I'm confused or whatever. And so he like, I mean, if y'all truly happy, I'm happy for you guys or whatever. And so it get into this whole back and forth between him and Hollywood, because Hollywood getting mad about it, like, why you in your feelings? Like, you knew she had a whole dude or whatever. And he like, well, I told her she could go with you. Like, she don't gotta stay here. She could go. Like, she could be with you. I can move on. Like, all this like, come on, yo. Like, who wants to hear that all the damn time? And so Kwame like, well, I'm confused, because if he's telling you the go, but you there, but you don't seem like you want to be there, like, what's going on? So then Hollywood like, but she ain't pick you, man. She ain't pick you or whatever. So they going back and forth, and she said, because she did say, like, if Hollywood wasn't in the picture, she would go with Kwame. She would have been with Kwame or whatever. So Egypt had said, well, look, this is a serious question. I don't mean to put you on the spot or anything like that, Ashley, but I think this is a question that we need to answer. Like, when he asked you to marry him, were you ready to get married, or did you say that you wanted to get married because you wanted to spare his feelings, you didn't want to embarrass him or anything like that? And she was just like, I'm not ready to get married. So I'm like, so you was basically trying to spare his feelings. I had said that when she had I had said that. But anyway, Egypt was like, well, do you want to explore other relationships? And she said no. And he was like, well, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting or whatever. And so Shantae said something talking about well, you can't really have him waiting in the wind. Like, if you don't really want to be with him or don't want to be married with him, let him know, because he's a good man and stuff like that. And I wish I had somebody that loved me as much as he loves you, because he really loves you or whatever. And Ashley was like, okay. Oh, okay. Like, she want emotional stability, and Hollywood, the way he just be popping off and puffing up and keep telling her, like, you can go, I can be here. Like, don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody want to hear that they not wanting and that you could just give me up like that. Don't nobody want to hear that. Like, fight for me. Like, come on. Like, don't nobody want to hear that. That's ridiculous. And I don't Girl, if you don't go to, because Kwame looked like he's finna cry. He looked like he was finna cry. I know his DMs is blown up, but he did say he was gonna move on. He not gonna just sit there and wait in the wind and stuff like that. And Ashley face looked like she ain't really like that too much, but you were Hollywood. What else? I think that was it for them. And then at the end, what happened, child? Oh, they were sitting there talking with Dr. Nicole, like everybody was back. Ashley said that she wants to open up the cage and let Hollywood be free. He doesn't want to be free. And then he was about to say something, and Vince was trying to trying to help him out. Like, look, that's just a defense mechanism that some guys do. He don't really mean all that. Hollywood like, I got this. I said, Hollywood, let him help you out, because if you go all ham again. So he was like, I'm not trying to go anywhere. I'm not trying to move on. But if she don't, because she my life, this the person I want to be with for the rest of my life or whatever, and I'm going to wait. But I can't be just, what I'm going to do in the meantime, just sit around waiting. I'm like, but you just contradicted yourself, because you said you're going to wait, but then you don't really want to wait. Like, y'all both just need to take a time out for a minute. And then if y'all come back together, y'all come back together. She said again that she not emotionally safe, but she ain't moving, or she ain't moving, or something like that. Dr. Nicole said that they need to be emotionally honest with each other, hit the reset button, build something new, and just go off on that new thing. Not go with the past and all that other stuff. Just kind of start a new relationship. If that's what they want to do together, then that's what they want to do together, and take their time, and then they decide if they want to put a ring on it or not. And like I told y'all, she told Mike and Shay just have some fun. And she told Tamika and Vince to use the reset button and just build on that. And I already told y'all about Mimi and Ulysses. So that's pretty much it for the episode. How did y'all feel about the reunion? What were y'all thoughts, y'all comments? If y'all have any, go ahead and put them down there in that comment box. For this video, the emoji will be the, I guess, the shock face. Put the shock face down there, because Hollywood and goddamn Kwame shocked, okay? So go ahead and put the shock face up like that. Go ahead and put it down there in them comments. If y'all stuck around to the end, y'all are troopers, and thank you very much. If you are not subscribed to my channel, but you are watching this review recap, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos, and also go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed what you saw. All right, y'all, until next time, peace.